Right at the beginning of his same address delivered on the anniversary of the parliamentary elections, Polish President Andrzej Duda assessed that in the context of Russian aggression against Ukraine, Poland's security is the most important issue that should unite, not divide. The issue of security has become the absolute primary issue for all nations and states now part of Europe and the world. It is a matter of absolutely fundamental importance today. In the context of the threat from Putin's Russia, the President stressed the importance of investing in the armed forces of Poland, an important member of NATO. As President, I have supported, do support, and will continue to support all measures that strengthen our defence potential and our military security. Andrzej Duda also listed measures to strengthen Poland's military launched by defence ministers from the United Right government, Antoni Macierewicz and Mariusz Błaszczak. The President cited how the Polish military began to be rebuilt after 2015 through the creation of territorial defence forces and later through the acquisition of new military equipment from abroad. The President also thanked the current head of the Defence Ministry, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, for continuing the agreements made by the United Right. I consider it necessary to continue all modernisation programmes already started in the Polish army, both those related to the implementation of contracts concluded with companies from South Korea and the United States, and, of course, those concluded with our domestic companies. Andrzej Duda mentioned the contract negotiated by Mariusz Błaszczak for the supply of Apache attack helicopters, signed by the current authorities of the Ministry of Defence, and the contract for the supply of Kleszcz reconnaissance armoured personnel carriers. We are continuing contracts. The President also said this, and we are concluding new ones. The transformation of the Polish army cannot take place in 1 or 2 years. Everything good that is happening in the Defence Ministry is what continues after our governments. There is no new quality. On the contrary, the old generals associated with the civic platform in the Ministry of Defence have returned in many areas. But when it comes to procurement policy, it is an 80% continuation of the United Right line. The problem is that the arms contracts inherited by the current government, which were supposed to strengthen the defence potential of the Polish army, are dragging on. We are implementing, none of those contracts have been overturned, we are also implementing more contracts. We just hope that the budget can last. The agreements for the acquisition and production in Poland of some 800 more Korean K2 tanks, or a total of 500 US HIMARS missile launchers, which are essential for Polish defence, are still not finalised. The President said this to mobilise those currently in power to act to strengthen our security. The President also spoke on the defence of the Polish border, which is today the site of a Putin and Lukashenko-inspired hybrid war. Thanks to the decisive actions of Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki's government and the attitude of our border guards, soldiers, police officers and officers of other services, we have clearly shown that Poland is capable of taking care of the security of its borders, the European Union and the Schengen area. Andrzej Duda also recalled the change that took place in the coalition on the 13th of December. I am glad that the government of Prime Minister Donald Tusk and his political camp currently in power in Poland have finally joined the defenders of Poland's border. But after all, when the vote was taken here in the Sejm on the construction of the fence on the border, only members of the Polish People's Party, from among the then opposition deputies, voted in favour of its construction. Because Tusk's coalition, while still in opposition, sided with illegal immigrants. Only after taking power did they change their approach. President Andrzej Duda gave a great speech. It made Donald Tusk furious. It can be said that Tusk is furious again. That's because the truth hurts. What the President said is the essence of what has happened over the past year, and it is the essence of the coalition's bad governance. In the kind of situation in which Poland is, including the security situation, this address did not unite, did not call for agreement across divides. It was unfortunately a partisan speech. It would seem that the head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Administration, who was in the room during Andrzej Duda's address, should have heard these words of the President. Security must be taken out of the bracket of the current political dispute, a party dispute or an inter-party dispute. On the anniversary of the parliamentary elections, immediately after the President's address calling for agreement on the most important issues of the country, Donald Tusk entered the parliamentary rostrum and all the charm was gone.